Bonjour everyone and welcome back to my channel, The Waves of Your Soul. My name is Marine, I'm a French tarot reader, and today I'm super excited to be doing this video for you because it actually is all about doing one of my favorite things, which is talking about tarot decks and why it resonates, why it doesn't resonate, what tarot decks we love, why we love them, all of that good stuff. So I hope you're gonna enjoy it. It's actually a hashtag which is called #PerfectPairs, which was a hashtag that is meant to showcase our favorite pairs between tarot and oracle, how we think that tarot and oracle can resonate best together, and what we consider our perfect pairs in terms of oracle and tarot decks. And I want to thank Lisa over at Lisa Papes for creating this hashtag because it's something I've been really enjoying watching everyone's responses to this VR, and that's why I wanted to get on board. I'm going to link Lisa's video below if you don't, or I'm sure you already subscribed to her channel, but if you're not, then I think you should definitely check her videos out. I love her energy, I love her vibe, and her channel is one of my favorite channels to watch. And also I love the 3 Fat Readers chat that she does with Dustin and Danny. If you haven't watched those, I really recommend. They are a joy to watch and I always learn something, and I'm always entertained as well when I watch their videos, so definitely check those out. I'll put the links below. But today let's get into it. I have actually a lot of tarot and oracle decks to show, so get a beverage, get something comfy to sit on. And also I just wanted to mention that currently at the time of me filming this, where I live, because I live on a tropical island in the southern hemisphere, it's currently monsoon season and we have a cyclone at the moment of me filming this. So if you hear a lot of wind or a lot of rain, then just wanted to point that out there. It is not a day to be outside, so I thought it would be a good day to film, so hopefully there's not too much background apocalyptical noise going on. Okay, let's get started with my first pairing I wanted to mention today, and it is the Lorac des Murmures and the Seers tarot. Now this oracle is actually one that came recently to my collection. It is a French deck, but I wanted to showcase it to you because I believe that even English speaking people can use this deck so easily. It used to be an indie deck, it is now mass market. This is the box. If you type Lorac des Murmures, Oracle of the Whispers in English, the actual translation, but you will find it, I think, on Amazon France or something like that. It's mass market, so it shouldn't be too expensive. It's one of those that comes in those magnetic glass box. It has a book, which is good, but it's in French, but you could use Google Translate. And then inside it, you also get this little box, and I've discovered it is a perfect pairing with the Seers tarot. Now I'm sure a lot of you know the Seers very well. It is a well-loved tarot deck in the community, and this is why I wanted to showcase this. So, like I said, the oracle comes into this little 2-piece box, which is really good, and even the inside is like, it's this publishing company, this French publishing company, does really beautiful boxes and oracle decks, and they're actually printing the Seers in France with this company, so those two would be great. These are the backs of the oracle, and these are the backs of the tarot deck, so even down to the back I believe they are like well matched, well suited. The reason why I wanted to showcase those as my perfect pair is because, like I said, I believe the oracle, even though the keywords are in French, the images are very they speak for themselves, right? So first of all, right off the bat, look at this High Priestess with this seeing card, right? It's like they're sisters. So in this oracle deck we have altar cards representing the Sabbath, so we have Yule, all of that stuff. It's a bit of a witchy deck in the sense of there's like the 5 senses, there's the Sabbath. So here's just this. We have this kind of like lightning card with the Knight of Pentacles, the love card with the Queen of Swords. So this oracle deck is actually diverse in the sense of skin color, but it is very female centric, whereas the Seers, I believe, has more of a good balance between masculine and feminine representative people, so that's something to keep in mind. 8 of Swords and Sadness, I feel like they go really well together. 8 of Cups with lunar phases, And as you can see, this water card, you know, this deck speaks for itself. And like I said, I know, so we have Passage and Nine of Cups. I know the Light Seers is very well known. And I wanted to talk about this tarot deck because they just have the same vibe. They have a kind of a sense of drawing, which is also not the same. It does pair well also aesthetically speaking, but more so about the messages you get together. They go really, really well. So this Adapting card with the Two of Pentacles, I think, is very potent. Ace of Pentacles with this Joy card. Harmony and Knight of Cups. You know, it's just, as you can see, it's the card speaks for themselves, and I feel like they go really well together. Conflict with Ten of Swords, that's appropriate. We have Burden with Nine of Swords, again very appropriate. I haven't planned those, I just, you know, wanted to show you how they go together. Wishes with the Wheel, again very appropriate. You can see those decks kind of work really well together. I'll show you a couple more pictures of the Oracle because I don't think a lot of people know this one as much as they know the Light Seers. So that was my first pairing, which is the Light Seers Tarot and Lorac des Murmures. Okay, moving on to a very obvious pairing. I'm kind of alternating, by the way, between pairings that are going to be totally obvious because they are from the same illustrator, same author, same people. So in this case like this. And I've also tried to add pairs like the one before, where it's different illustrators, different authors, etc, etc, but I still feel like they vibe well together. So hopefully I've got a good mix going. But this one, those are very obvious pairing. We have the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colin Perrin-Reed and Gemma della Gortaglia, Wisdom of the Oracle, same people, Tarot of a Good Tarot, which in French is Le Tarot de la Bienveillance, but in English I believe it's called the Good Tarot, by exactly the same people. So these are the backs of the three different decks. We have the animal one here. I've actually edged mine in this kind of like green color because I've used this deck so much. It was my very first Oracle deck that I have used it like to the bone. So it needed a refresh, so I've done those edges, which I really enjoy. I've actually cut this one off, trimmed it and edged it in red. So normally it comes with borders, the Wisdom of the Oracle, but I've edged it and trimmed it. And the Good Tarot I haven't done anything with. In France it comes with those metallic, you know, edging, which is not great because they kind of chip off very quickly, but you know, I'll forgive it. So as you can see, it's very similar artwork. We have very similar vibe. Of course, it's the same author and the same artist, so it's like the perfect pairing. I love the Good Tarot in terms of images. I think it's a very good tarot for dream interpretation, like because it's such set in a fantasy world. It's very good for like dream interpretation or going into the subconscious and everything like that. It's not a tarot deck I tend to use all the time though, like because I find it quite hard. Sorry, this deck has normally you can use reversal with this Oracle deck, so this is why I didn't put it back on. So like I was saying, Good Tarot, not a deck I use like constantly, but a good one for what I believe is when you need to escape a little bit, and also when you need to like do dream interpretation, everything like that. Wisdom of the Oracle is actually an oracle I believe that is great for everything. It's beautiful, it's got that ethereal vibe, it's definitely got beautiful imagery, and we have reversals again. Like I said, you can use reversals. The messages are actually really good in this deck. I believe it's great for beginners and, you know, advanced readers alike, because it's not a deck that is so you know, it doesn't veer away from like shadow themes. It has like lighter and darker cards. And finally, the Spirit Animal is another deck that I love because as an animal deck, I believe it has a very good mix. Well, like I said, it was my first Oracle deck, so it has a very special place in my heart, and it has animals from all around the world, even things like chameleon, and you know, which is an animal that is very special for me because where I live we have chameleon, so it's one of those animals I always look at for. And I really enjoy the messages. It doesn't veer away from more shadowy kind of messages, if you get my sense. It's not all love and light, because it's got a really good, you know, balance. And you can also have upright and reverse meanings with this one, which is something I really enjoy. Like this snake card, for example, time to heal, that's a good one. So those three together, I think pair really well, not only just because of the artwork, but also because of the general vibe, definitely. And you can kind of switch and change, you know, if you want something more with humans in it, you can pair the good tarot with this one. And if you want to get more of an animal vibe, you can use the spirit animal oracle with this one. But regardless, they are really great readers together. And also I love using them as standalone, especially those two oracles. I've definitely paired them with many tarot decks, not just this one. I think they are really versatile, like pocket knife kind of oracle, and I really enjoy them. So this was my second pairing, Good Tarot, Wisdom of the Oracle, and Spirit Animal Oracle, all by Colette Baron Reid and Jenna della Grottaglia. Okay, moving on to the third pairing I wanted to share with you today, and now those two are indie decks. So we have the Way Home Tarot by Barbara Whitner and Autumn Whitehurst, and we have the Faceted Garden Oracle by Claire Mack. Now, most of you will know Claire Mack because you might have her other oracle deck, the Illuminated Earth Oracle, which I also have. It seems to be a favorite amongst the community, but she recently, like 2020, came out with this oracle deck, and I really enjoy it. I like both. I have both of her decks, but I really enjoy this one, the Faceted Garden, and I don't see as many people talking about it, but I have discovered that it pairs wonderfully with the Way Home Tarot. And I'll put all the links, or at least the names if I can't find links, of the tarots and oracles I'm showing today, you know, so just check the description box below for details. So those are the both packs for the tarot and the oracle. The oracle actually has this really cool edge in this like holographic rainbow edging, which, you know, we all love. Who doesn't like rainbows? And the tarot deck is not edged. So those two decks really resonate and have a great synergy and energy for me, in my opinion. Not just because they are based around the, you know, nature world, because as you can see, of course, the Faceted Garden Oracle is inspired by the natural world, and you know, the Way Home Tarot doesn't have any specific humans just outlined, but it's very much all based around nature, the animals, and it's quite pippish in a sense, but it's still very like beginner friendly, I believe, because it's like what I like to call scenic pips. But it's not just about the fact that they are both rooted in earth vibes, it's the fact that they just have this great connection together. So for example, we have this core here with the Four of Wands, which I landed on by chance, but I think they go, you know, they really resonate with each other. The tarot card with winter, you know, this feeling of, okay, when the tower hits, you definitely have moments when you feel like you need to go and retreat and heal and lick your wounds before you can go out in the world again. Father of Pentacles with gemstones, that's a beautiful pairing as well. We have the Father of Wands with wreath, again a beautiful pairing. New Moon and Four of Cups, so you know where you need to put intentions, where in your life are you not seeing the joy, and maybe you need to start this new cycle. That also goes really well together. Spade and Son of Pentacles, I mean, come on, that's just perfect again. The Ram and the Two of Wands, that Aries vibe and that friction and that ready to go kind of vibe is perfect. So as you can see, I think they are a really great pair, and not just aesthetically speaking, but in terms of the energy that they provide. Consciousness and Eight of Swords, you know, it's just great. I really love using those two, and I think they need to be more showcased, which is why I wanted to talk about them. Okay, moving on to a pairing I am super excited to share with you, because that's another very unusual one that the day I found it, I was like, wow, this is actually gonna change my life. Okay, maybe not so dramatic, but it's gonna change my tarot life because they just are so great together. So we have Lorac Bleu, which is a French deck, but before you start, you know, saying, oh, she's pissing me off with those French decks, because, you know, we need English decks, you will see that there are English keywords on the card. So this one, even if you don't want anything to do with French, you can still use because it's in English. And I've actually wanted to pair it with the Cosmic Tarot. I've got the French version, so it's Tarot Cosmic. And those two are like sister, brothers, twins. You know, they're just from the same family. So Lorac Bleu is a mass market deck. Sorry, I should have showed that more. Mass market decks, I'm sure you could get it on Amazon France. It's potentially very inexpensive. I mean, in France it's not expensive. It comes with a little guidebook, keywords, which honestly you don't really need, because as you're gonna see, the keywords are already on the cards. As you're gonna see, the great thing about this deck is that we have French keyword, we have Spanish keyword, and we have English keyword. And you also have the number, so if you want to use numerology, you can do that. And already that's great because it makes this deck super versatile. But when you pair it with the Cosmic Tarot, which is, I believe, also very inexpensive to get in, because it's a mass market everywhere, I believe, they just are perfect together. I think it's the blue vibe that got me attracted to them two together, first of all, because there's a lot of blue in both of them. I mean, this one is called Lorac Bleu, literally the blue oracle, and as you can see, the backs also are very cosmic, they resonate. But it's not just the color, it's also the, again, the synergy, the vibe, how they speak to each other, the conversation we have together. So here we have the doubling, duplication with 5 of Swords, the King of Pentacles with the Boy, the King of Wands with intrigues, I think that's how you say it in English, the Benevolent with the 9 of Swords, that's really interesting, the Conqueror with the Lovers, that's very interesting. I find this deck great, this Lorac Bleu. I think it is, well look, the Emperor and the Conqueror, now that's a pairing. What I love about the Blue Oracle is that also, just not the images, but it's also, I feel like, it kind of bends like genders, in the sense that, as you can see, the characters are not so like masculine or feminine. It is very much blurry in the sense of how it, you know, it doesn't try to define the characters in certain genders, and I appreciate that, especially in an Oracle deck. I think that came out a while ago. It's very ahead of its time, and together they're really great. So we have Uncertainty with Princess of Swords, you know, of course, like the Princess of Swords would be a great healing tool against the like uncertainty, and Elevation with 5 of Pentacles, again beautiful. So I think those two together are really fun, they're really interesting, and we don't talk about them a lot, which is a shame. Perturbation and 3 of Wands, the Hangman and the Work. This is literally my favorite card from the Cosmic Tarot, it's hysterical. 8 of Wands with Autumn. So you have seasons card, you have kind of cards around the mountain, seaside, etc, etc on this deck. You have the different minerals, water, you know, what are those called, element cards. We have the Fool with Spring, beautiful, fresh start, new start. So as you can see, you get the gist, right? It's really interesting, they really resonate together. The Temple and 9 of Pentacles, beautiful, like she literally, from hard work, from valuing herself, from honoring her truth, has managed to build her temple inside and out, and that is resonating in her material life. Perfect. Okay, moving on to another pairing that I think is literally a match made in heaven. This is probably one of my favorite pairings ever in my tarot collection, and I do have quite a few tarot oracles, so you know, this says something. It is the Begin Oracle, which, to be honest, is in my top 5 ever favorite oracles ever. That wasn't even a sentence, but you get me. And the Common Tarot that came out, I think, last year, or that I got at the beginning of 2021 because it took some time to get, but that ever since has become a huge favorite of mine. So this is a mass market deck by Shaheen Miro and Teresa Reed. This Begin Oracle is by Little Magic Herbal Shop. You can find it on Etsy. It's actually sorry, this one is an indie deck. It is not cheap, but it's amazing. I will put that out there. That it's not a cheap deck, this Oracle deck, but it has 72 cards, and it is collage style, and honestly it has my total devotion. I love it so much, and I'm so pleased. I actually, you know, it's an investment I was very happy to make, and I will support anything this creator make because it's fantastic. So it comes with a really good guidebook, this Oracle deck, like huge. It has crystal association, astrological association, etc. I've actually been asked to do a walkthrough of this deck, so that's on my list to do. But as you can see, it's collage style, both of those decks, and they literally are perfect together. This is like the perfect couple kind of marriage. They are absolutely, it's like they were made from the same cloth. So we have High Priestess and this Queen card, beautiful. Sweetness and Six of Wands. Dive in and Page of Swords. Keep Watch with Nine of Wands. What, literally, right? I didn't plan this, but look, Keep Watch with Nine of Wands. How perfect is that? We have the Sun in Eclipse and the Wheel. Beautiful. King of Wands, sorry, King of Swords and Honey. Blessings and Seven of Swords. The Lovers with the Four of Coins. Protection and Queen of Cups. That kind of like flowy water energy with this Mother Mary kind of vibe. Beautiful, which really resonates to this Queen of Cup energy, I believe. Beautiful. The Garden with Nine of Coins. How perfect, considering she is surrounded with her garden and her, you know, her bird. Catching Blossoms and Ten of Coins. Literally, this card talks about abundance, and it is paired with the Ten of Coins or Ten of Pentacles. You couldn't make it more perfect. I'll show you a couple more. Seed and the Sun. Innate Knowledge and Five of Coins. Beautiful. Deep Roots and Two of Cups. Gorgeous. And finally, the Moon and the Bell. Even down to literally the animals that are depicted on this case. It's like, I can't make this up. Honestly, this is the best pairing in my collection. I've said it already, and I will say it again. I love those two together, and they're amazing. Now, as you will have seen, I have also another tarot deck which I think would pair beautifully with this. And I say I think because I haven't actually tried it, because this is the Spolia Tarot 2nd edition, and I've only received this deck a few days ago, and it took, literally, I'm not kidding you, I think 10 to 11 months to get to me. Because Spolia so this is the edition 2. I believe the Spolia Tarot is now out of print. You can't find it anywhere apart from on eBay, so I'm sorry. This is why I wanted to showcase the Uncommon Tarot first, because if people want this kind of art collage style, I wanted to show the mass market readily available first before I show you this deck that you can't get easily anymore, because I don't know, that's just sometimes it's frustrating when you can't get stuff that you see online. And yeah, this tarot deck took ages to come to me because it was like the last few decks they had, and then the pandemic happened, and I live in the middle of the Indian Ocean where things take already forever to come. So literally, I think this deck took 11 months to come to me, and I just got it. So I haven't had a chance to play with it, but I mean, I feel like most of you know the Spolia, but I'll show you anyway, so it's still in order. It has that collage vibe that I think would go really well with the Begin. And when I actually ordered this deck, I wanted to use it with this original deck, with the Begin Oracle to begin with, because I didn't have at the time the Uncommon Tarot, and I thought originally that they would go really well together, so I'm definitely gonna try it now that I have it. I just need to, you know, start working with it because I haven't actually tried it yet. But I feel like they would go well together. Let me know what you think in the comments. They have a very interesting similar energy. Death and the Lion, that's interesting. Temperance and the Moon. Don't Let In and the Devil. Ooh, that's a good pairing. Look at that. I like that. feels so right, and Judgment. Beautiful. Okay, so this is confirmation, right? This is me literally trying it on camera. The World and Nourish. Beautiful. Okay, I'm sold. That, you know, this is something I will report back on already, just trying it out on camera. I'm sold, but let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear it, but I just wanted to mention it because I think I know the spool, yeah, a lot of people have it, even though it's not available anymore, so just wanted to put it out there. Okay, so next pairing is something that I also love. To be fair, it's one of my also favorite pairings, and it is the Morgan's Tarot, which to be honest is called a tarot but is very much an oracle, and the Aquarian Tarot by David Palladini. Now, this Morgan Tarot is super 80s slash I think 70s more so. It is literally like someone had taken an acid trip and gone to Woodstock and decided to draw, you know, information that they downloaded at the time on mushrooms or God knows what. They created this deck and it is genius. It's brilliant. And the Aquarian Tarot is, you know, it's an all-time favorite. It's a classic deck, also from the 70s. I'm sure you all know it. It's one of those decks that is, you know, it's a classic. I feel like with the Morgan Greer, it's definitely one of those decks. I actually don't have the Morgan Greer. I used to. I didn't gel with it. The Aquarian Tarot is it for me. And those two decks feed my 70s fantasy when I need to be told what's what, literally without any bullshit, without cutting corners, and in a way that is gonna be speaking so clearly, so loudly, that if I don't get it, literally, you know, it's like, it's gonna call me out. This Rebirth and the Tower already, it's like, okay, you got the message or what? I am called out by those decks on a regular basis. They literally slap me all the time and I kind of like it. So, you know, it's one of those where you're like, I'm coming back for more. I want to get slapped by those decks and be told I'm dumb and, you know, they make me look at things in a way that I have no way to avoid what's going on. It's literally like, oh, you thought you were okay. No, let me tell you what's going on really. You sit down and I'm gonna tell you. The Dream and the Chariot. Those two decks are a powerhouse, and I feel like they're not just so serious as well. They definitely have a sense of humor, which is something I super enjoy, because sometimes I need to remind myself to not take things too seriously, especially if I'm going through something quite difficult. Sometimes I need Four of Pentacles. That's so funny. Yeah, sometimes I need something that's gonna, one, call me out on my shit, and two, not take itself too seriously, because it just helps me personally. Like, I need to be in the mood for it for sure, but depending what I'm feeling, if I'm in that spinning washing machine mind, it's a good way for me to snap out of it. If, like, literally I do a reading and it's almost like laughing at myself, you know, like, are you really worried about this right now? Like, really, girl, can you take a deep look at yourself and be like, really? Were you really worrying about this right now? You don't have anything else to worry about? Like, come on. You know, that kind of vibe is very much the Morgan Tarot and the Aquarian. I love those decks separately, but together they are fantastic. The Kwakidu and the Hierophant. Look at that for a pairing. That's definitely confrontational, and I just love it. I think those are great. Even the backs, I think, go well together, and I love those decks together. I've got this is the tin version of the Aquarian. I wish I had the bigger version, but you know, it's definitely easy to carry everywhere. So the Aquarian Tarot right here, and we have the Morgan's Tarot right there. Okay, moving on to a very obvious pairing, but I still wanted to mention it because, you know, maybe some of you don't know those decks, although, you know, I feel like most people would. If you are watching this and you're a beginner, you might not know those decks, and it would be a shame not to showcase them because they are fantastic. So we have Le Tarot des Mondes Sauvages et Inconnus, which is actually the French version for the Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krantz, and the same Kim Krantz's, but this time it is her archetype, the Wild Unknown archetype deck. So the Wild Unknown archetype comes in this huge box, clasp, it has a guidebook, and then within that box you get this little box with the cards in it. And this deck, this archetype deck, is literally amazing, like so good. I can't recommend it enough. It has archetype of more like people, even though it doesn't depict people, but it also has archetype in terms of tools, places, and all of that. And of course, because it is the same artist, it pairs beautifully with the Wild Unknown. So here we have the Vision and the Empress, the Orphan with the Three of Cups. So if you don't know Kim's artwork style, it has very much, you know, those drawn lines. I mean, I feel like everyone knows the Wild Unknown, but if not, as you can see, it is a lot of like black and white lines with pops of color. It's very beautiful. It's very, this one is rooted in the animal world, so it doesn't have any humans in it, and neither does have this archetype oracle, so that's a good one to use if you're sick of humans and just want something more nature based. So the Queen and the Chariot, the Heart and the Six of Swords. Honestly, those two decks are obviously made in heaven, same artist. Look at those colors, the Gem and the Star, beautiful. The Warrior and the Son of Pentacles, and even the horns kind of resonate here. The Starborn and Strengths, beautiful. So this is a round deck which I know some people have trouble handling because the cardstock is actually very good, and it can be a bit of a trouble to shuffle if you have like arthritis or anything like that in your hands. But just shove it on the table, give it a good shuffle and push it back in. This is what I do, and honestly it's so worth it. I think it's very powerful. The messages in the guidebook are fantastic. So as you can see, I have kept the oracle deck with a Wild Unknown archetype oracle, sorry. But for those of you who are not a fan of the Wild Unknown tarot, because I think a lot of people seem to have this kind of Marmite reaction to the Wild Unknown tarot, I have this deck here, which I think is fantastic. So this is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. I have the first edition. The second edition has just come out. You can go on the website and get it. It's a bit different to the first one. I believe there were some card changes. This is the information if you want to check it out. Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. So, like I said, second edition is slightly different to the first. I think there were some kind of changes, but overall, it is very much this idea of the color spectrum, right? So every card is very, it's like only one or two colors on the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. It's very bright. Let me show you. It actually, the backs are total black, which I love, and it came pre-edged in black, and as you can see, the colors are very vibrant and resonate with the color spectrum. But it's not just the color and the line drawing and all of that that resonates. It's the energy. So the one, which actually looks like a prison with the Eight of Swords. Beautiful. The Threshold with the Five of Swords. What are your boundaries? Where are you not putting boundaries? Where are you not honoring your boundaries? The Flame and the Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful. The Venom and the Eight of Wands. That's really interesting. Nine of Swords and Thanatos, the Crown and the Ten of Cups, Temperance and the Offering. Gorgeous. Look at this. And actually this hand here totally resonates with this like guide pouring down, which is one of my favorite temperances ever. I've got in any of my decks. I love this Temperance card, and I also love the Hierophant card and the Magician card in this deck. This deck is one of my all-time faves as well. But those two together, I think, can be really, they have this really interesting, deep, soul healing kind of conversation. The Pilgrim with the King of Pentacles, beautiful. With these two decks, we're going deep, right? We're going deep, we're going soul healing, we're going soul searching. It's powerful, and the messages I get are definitely more around self-development, kind of trying to directly get messages from my guide. It's not the kind of pairing I would pull. I could use this one on its own for day-to-day messages. Those two together I would not be using for a card of the day, because it would be like too much for me to wrap my brain around just for one day. Look at this horse here and the hunter here with the Nine of, like, perfect. It's just I need a bit of time to sit. When I get a message from those two together, I need a little bit of time to process, digest, let the, you know, enzyme do their thing. but that's just because of the nature of the oracle as well, which is very deep. Okay, to wrap up the video, I wanted to showcase another very healing combo. It's a combo I have for a long time. It's one of the very first combos I made, one of the very first oracles I got, one of the very first tarot I got, and they are very healing to me. They're very grounding to me. They help me nurture myself, they help me heal, they give me very messages that help me ground, that help me take me down away from my mental space into my body. And it is something that is very important to me because I got those decks around the time when I was very ill, and you know, I was going through a lot of health problems that completely turned my life upside down, and I was stuck in bed for a long time, I couldn't walk, etc. And those decks were pillars for me into getting better. They were pillars for me into seeing the light, as to say, and to reconnect with this kind of healing, nurturing energy, even when I couldn't go outside to go for a walk or connect with that energy myself. So actually, I have a very special place in my heart for those two decks, and I think they are very powerful. Rebirth and Nine of Air. I don't think you need to know anything about crystals to use this deck. The guidebook is very well done. It has ritual and everything. Look at this Ancestor Healing and Guardian of Air. I love the Gaian Tarot because it depicts people from all walks of life. It has age diversity, it has ethnicity diversity, it just depicts real people from your everyday life, and I love that. It's very such a beautiful deck, one of my favorite decks ever. And I think with this kind of with this oracle in particular, it does have a very interesting, you know, resonance. Soul Retrieval and the Wheel, beautiful. So this is the last pairing I wanted to share with you, which is the Gaian Tarot and the Crystal Medicine Oracle. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then don't hesitate to give me a like. It really helps my channel to grow, as I'm still quite new in the YouTube world. Every like, every subscribe really helps me out. Don't hesitate to let me know in the comments what are your perfect pairs, or if you've done a video and a VR, then don't hesitate to let me know, and I'll definitely check it out. I still have quite a few perfect pairs to show, to be honest, so I might do a part 2, I'll see, you know, because I do have a lot of decks that I love to pair together. But again, thank you so much to Lisa for creating this hashtag, and thank you so much to all of you for watching. And until my next video, I am sending you lots and lots of good vibes, and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye!